We're going to look at the 6 cards that are available as rewards in the Arachnid Quarter of Curse of Naxxramas. The Arachnid Quarter is free right now during the launch window, and so you can go in there, you can get 6 new cards that you can take out to your decks and play in ranked or casual play, and the bosses that you have to beat to get them aren't really all that hard, so there's really no reason to not get in there and get these cards, and we are certainly starting to see these cards get used a lot in the player versus player matches out there. So each wing has 6 cards as a reward. 4 of them are neutral. There's 1 legendary, and then 2 of them are class specific, and in the Arachnid Quarter that's a druid and a rogue card that you earn for beating the class challenges. The first card we're going to look at is the Haunted Creeper, which is the first card you earn for defeating a Anub'ar in the Arachnid Quarter, and it's a neutral minion. It's 1 attack, 2 health for 2 mana cost, and it has a death rattle that summons 2 spectral spiders, and so it's a good card to have in the deck to get something down on turn 2 or with the mana coin turn 1, and then that has the death rattle that's going to give you 2 more cards when it's gone. So it's not a bad thing to have in just about any deck. It is a beast. The Haunted Creeper is a beast, and so you can put it into a hunter deck, and it's only a beast in its original form. So when it summons these spectral spiders, when the original form is gone, you can't buff it with something like a Timberwolf or do anything else with it that'll sink. So you can see we put the Timberwolf down and nothing happens. So if you want to try and sync it with some other cards that do things with beasts, you'll have to do it in the original form. So it's not anything spectacular for the hunter, but it has that little bit of extra advantage. But really in any deck you can use it to replace some of the low mana cost cards you're using to get something down on those first couple of turns, because the death rattle is pretty nice if you just need to get something going early on. The next card we're going to look at is the Nerub'ar Weblord, which is the card you receive as a reward for beating the Grand Widow Fairlina, and this is one of the weaker cards, or less interesting cards that you get. It's a 1 attack, 4 health card, costs 2 mana, and it makes all cards with Battle Cry cost 2 more mana. So obviously you don't want to put it in your deck if you have a bunch of Battle Cry cards. It's not going to help you out because it has the same effect for you as it does for your opponent. And then it's a card you don't really know whether it's doing anything for you or not. You don't know what's in your opponent's hand. If they have a bunch of cards with Battle Cry, you might be doing a good job. It might be frustrating them, but you never know. They might not have any cards with Battle Cry, and then it's it's only got 1 attack. It does have 4 health, so it'll stay down for a bit, and if you put it in a priest deck, you could keep healing it if you wanted to. You could buff it up, and it certainly could be doing some good help if your opponent has Battle Cry cards. But if not, it's not doing a whole lot. So you might play with it a little bit, but it's definitely not a must-have in any deck. The card we're going to look at is the Nerubian Egg card, which is the reward for defeating Maexxna in the initial battle, and this has no attack, 2 health, and it costs 2 mana, but it has a death rattle that summons a 4/4 Nerubian minion. So it's not bad for a 2 mana card, and it's kind of one of the more interesting cards you can earn in this wing, because you don't want to just throw it out there, really. You want to have a plan for how to use it. If you just put it down, you might deter your opponent from using some clearing spells, but it's not, you might also just have a worthless card sitting out there. So we're going to see this Warlock use the Power Overwhelming card, which will destroy it at the end of the turn, which will leave that 4/4 Nerubian, but also gives it some attack on this turn, and then he's going to add the Void Terror to it to really create a strong card, and so that's a pretty great use of it with the Warlock. You can see the Druid has it out here too, and so the Druid needs to find some way to give it some attack or give it some taunt, and get rid of that egg and turn it into that Nerubian. And so the Druid has the Savage Roar card, which will give all his characters +2 attack, so he can play that, do a little bit of attack with it against one of the Warlock's minions, which will destroy the egg and bring out that 4/4 minion. So it's a pretty good card if you have a plan on how you're going to use it. You can put 2 of them in your deck, and we'll see it again in a minute when we look at the Poison Seeds card too. Each wing of Naxxramas offers 1 legendary card as a reward for beating all of the bosses in that wing in their initial battles. And in the Arachnid Quarter, that's the Maexxna card, which you get after you beat Maexxna. And it's a 2 attack, 8 health, 6 mana cost card that destroys any minion that it damages. So it's basically a souped up Emperor Cobra with increased health. It can work pretty well in just about any deck. There's not a whole lot to say about it really. It's susceptible to silence, of course, and if an opponent has a removal card that can remove a minion with low attack, it can take care of that. But you can play it in a priest deck where you can keep healing it, or you could even double its health, and it's going to be pretty useful in just about any situation. And so if it's a nice legendary to have. If you're having trouble getting legendaries out of the card packs, get in there and get this one. Each wing does also offer 2 class-specific cards that you can earn by defeating the bosses in class-specific challenges. And so this is the Poison Seeds card, which you earn by defeating Grand Widow Fairlina with a Druid and a predetermined deck. And this is a spell card that replaces every minion on the board with a 2/2 Treant. And it costs 4 mana, so it's kind of a fun card. You really have to use it wisely and think, oh, is this going to help me or hurt me, or do a little bit of both. You can use it offensively or defensively, or if you're lucky, both. You can use it to replace your opponent's strong minions with some weaker ones, or you can use it to replace your weak minions with stronger ones. I think what we're about to see here is the latter. And so here's that Nerubian Egg card again, the one that doesn't have any attack, but if you destroy it, it leaves a 4/4 Nerubian. And so we're going to go ahead and put that down, and then we've just got this little 1/1 boar on the board, and so let's replace them all with 2/2 Treants, and then you got that with that Nerubian Egg card, you're getting a 4/4 minion and a 2/2 Treant, so it's kind of a double use there. One class that it doesn't work too well against is the Shaman, just because of their taunts, or not their taunts, but their totems. So if they get a bunch of totems out on the board, you can see we're kind of down to it here. The only card we have is the Poison Seeds, but if we were to use it, we'd be giving the Shaman a lot more strength here. Now, we just pulled our other Poison Seeds card, so even though we're kind of way ahead in the battle, we're getting stalled out because we have these cards, and they're pretty worthless in this situation. So obviously you can't always plan if you're going to be playing against a Shaman, but just know that they're not going to do you a whole lot of good in that situation. The final card is the Anub'ar Ambusher, pardon me if I'm mispronouncing that, and that's the reward for defeating Maexxna with a rogue, and so it's a rogue specific card. It's 5 health, 5 attack for 4 mana, so it's a decent minion as it is, but its Death Rattle returns a friendly minion from the battlefield into your hand. So if you just put it down by itself, you don't really have to worry about what happens to it. There's no damage done if that Death Rattle gets triggered, but as you start putting cards out, you want to think strategically about what you have next to it, because if you get something sent back to your hand, you want it to be something valuable. So something with an advantageous battle cry, like we're going to use the Earthen Ring Farseer here. We're going to get 3 health, and then if that gets sent back to our hand, then we get the battle cry again and get that health again. So that, or minions with charge also work really well, or minions with stealth. Anything that you don't mind putting out on the board twice because obviously you're not going to be able to attack with it on that next turn, but you can put it out and get that battle cry. So not a stellar addition to the rogue deck, but it can definitely have its uses if you can figure out how to exploit the death rattle. So that's all the new cards in the Arachnid Quarter of Curse of Naxxramas. If you don't have them yet, get in there while the Arachnid Quarter is free during this launch period, and get those cards. It's pretty fun, and none of the battles that you need to, none of the challenges that you need to finish to get those rewards are particularly hard. So get in there and do it.